On a lighter note, I was messaging my father because he's here in Africa, and he said that he couldn't make it to my show because I don't message him enough, and I didn't call him on WhatsApp. So I sent him gay, and they said if you go to this link, you can get a ticket. It's super duper easy.
The issues that Doja Cat is having with her South African father. A lot of y'all might not know, but the rapper, singer, very talented artist Doja Cat is half South African. So this week on tour, she had a stop in South Africa for the first time in her career. Her first time visiting her ancestral homeland, or at least half of her ancestral homeland in South Africa. So she was trying to reconcile, meet up with her father, I'm sure, try to meet the rest of the family, have a nice experience that she never quite experienced in her life, as far as we know. This is how Doja Cat told the story, but stay tuned because Doja Cat's father had his own response.
On a lighter note, I was messaging my father because he's here in Africa, and he said that he couldn't make it to my show because I don't message him enough, and I didn't call him on WhatsApp. So I sent him gay, and they said if you go to this link, you can get a ticket. It's super duper easy. And he said, oh, yes, I will send this to my management. My management will handle all of this at the moment. I'm just very busy doing costume and rehearsal. So at the moment, I cannot do this myself. So fair, right? And so then he's at work, right? And he's working. And so he just keeps on messaging me. And he says, I'm just very, and I can't get to the phone. I can't do this at the moment. And then keeps messaging that to me. And then I sent him the website again. He said, what is the website? Because we were messaging each other, but he didn't see the link the first time. And so I sent it again. And he said, darling, what is this? What I'm seeing is gay porn. It's like a porno.
It's like a
on my screen, and I don't know if it's a scam because I feel like I'm scamming here. So please, sweetheart, I don't know what to do with this. I can't get the ticket.
Okay, so what we have to be honest about here is that behind all of the jokes and the lighthearted nature of this is a hurt little girl. Now, I don't agree with her father, quote unquote, abandoning her. I don't know the exact situation because we've heard this situation come up several times before. In fact, maybe I'll show that video of women who grow into adulthood and think that their fathers abandoned them. They think that their father didn't want anything to do with them, but then they realize that their mother played a big part in blocking their father from actually being in their lives.
I'm about to be extremely vulnerable because this might help someone. I've never been this vulnerable online in like ever, okay? I believe you are as sick as your secrets, and saying things out loud helps free you. So my parents were married and then they had me. I guess their marriage was difficult, so they later got divorced. I don't know why, I don't know the details. All I know is that they separated, so I used to be with my mother 1 week, and then I'll go be with my father the next week, okay? So back and forth. 1 week, my dad never showed up to come and pick me up. I sat by the door, literally waiting and waiting. He never showed up. The following week, I did the same thing. I did this for months, okay? He never came. So I felt so rejected, okay? I still quite literally turn into that little girl when I talk about it. It has changed the trajectory of my life, okay? So I didn't find out until literally recently as an adult that my father did not abandon me. My mother cut him off because she was afraid that he was gonna take me from her. So I literally had to grow up without a father, thinking that my father didn't love me. So I would go on dating these men who were amazing to me. I've had wonderful relationships, and I would literally feel like the love was never enough because my father didn't love me. How could another man love me? So it just fucked me up, okay? Like, for good. So this is why I chose the man that I chose to have a baby with. Like, everything truly makes sense. And my grandmother tells me this, and I was angry at my mom. Angry, okay? Because how dare you be that stuff fucking selfish and not think of me? You don't think I wanted to have my father? I've forgiven her now. I've made peace with it. But that's why I feel so strongly about cutting parents or cutting the other person off. You don't get to do that. You don't, okay? Because like I said, it scarred me. And now my father is dead, and it haunts me for the rest of my life. Because I literally grew up thinking he didn't want me. That wasn't the case. He was coming. They were returning him. And I was sitting there by that door waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting, and he never showed up. And I hope this brings me some type of closure, because it literally eats at me all the time, still to this day.
And so as kids, you don't necessarily understand the whole thing. What this sounds like to me is that the father was actually, even though he said he was busy, and you know, he's also an artist in his own right. He's an actor, I found out, in South Africa. So even within his busy schedule, he said, you know what? I'm going to forward this to my people. It sounded like he was making an effort. Then he requested the link again and said, hey, something is wrong here. I feel like I'm being scammed. There's some scamming going on, which that was a pretty good accent she did there. But beneath all of this, beneath all of the antics, beneath all of her acting out and all of her, you know, questionable behavior in some of these videos and, you know, bouts with alleged mental illness, beneath all that is a hurt little girl. And that's where Doja Cat doesn't understand what she did there. Because if she really wanted to see him, that second opportunity she had to send a link, it wouldn't have been the same link again. She would have sent him the link to the tickets. But let's just see. Doja Cat actually had a moment on stage where she finally got to South Africa, and it finally made sense to her while she was there. And I think it was a beautiful moment. And so Doja Cat's real given name, which I'm assuming she was named by her father, is Zandile. Zandile. This was her. She's getting emotional. They're chanting her name. Wow. In South Africa.
For a place that I've never been to, I sure do feel like I've been here before.
See? That's deep. You look at her, she's even got her hair in a different natural style, you know, like that's interesting. It's like she's having to mature with something she's never known. You know, there's no space for all the antics. There's no space for all the goofiness. She's having to deal with this. But her father had some things to say about her relationship with her mother that actually kind of caused a lot of strife in their relationship. Quick pause real quick, because things out there are tight now for everybody. I know a lot of people out there could benefit from accessing your money a little bit before payday. That's why I'm here to tell you about a banking app called Current that lets you get up to $750 paycheck advance if you qualify. It's worth checking out. And that's why Faucette Media is partnering with them. Right now, they're giving $75 to anybody that signs up using my link in the description or scans the QR code on screen. Scan the code, it'll take you straight to the sign up page, go through the normal sign up steps, enter your info, then order your Current card. After you complete those steps, you see the option to enter my promo code Faucette, which will unlock that $75 bonus. So if you want access to features like paycheck advance, faster direct deposit, and a $75 sign-up bonus for setting up direct deposit, sign up with my code Faucette. Hit the link in the description or scan the code on screen and get Current.
Today, I want to tell the world I'm not going to be used by a white woman with 3 kids that I was feeding those kids. I took care of her kids.
Stepdaddy.
3 kids, white kids. They hated me. Or even every social media platform. Today, it's a day for me because I know everyone has been saying, but Dumsan is quiet, he's not saying anything. Today, I want to tell you the fact. I've worked so hard to make my name, which is my reputation. I've worked so hard to fight for this country with Sarafina. And then I made the world to be where it is. And then I happened to meet Doja Cat, so-called Doja Cat, but I named her Zandile. And then I've been...
So he actually did make it to the show. He said he met her. He said he met so-called Doja Cat. That's kind of crazy. His daughter, you know. And a lot of people have different family structures all over the world. You know, everybody's looking at this through an American or a Western lens. He seems to be pretty pissed off about this situation, let's say.
Sad, but no one knows what happened. But today, without a media briefing, guys, let me tell you, you can't be in a foreign country and find a woman, a white woman with 3 kids, and then you make 2 kids with her, and then she becomes so lucky that she gives birth to the superstar. And then she give information to the superstar that your father is not a good man.
Wow.
I'm talking about a white woman, Jewish woman. Today, I want to tell the world that I'm not going to be used by a white woman with 3 kids that I was feeding those kids with the money of Sarafina. And my name and my reputation as a good man. I love my kids. I took care of her kids, Deborah. 3 kids, white kids. They hated me. And on top of that, I spoke to Deborah that I would love you to come home. And she came home. She met my family. But no one ever talked about that. And today, just because I gave birth to a superstar with money, and then it happened that I'm talking about a woman brainwashed my baby that I left her. I never left my kid. And everyone saw it. She played the cards because of influence of her mother. She came to South Africa. She's got power to see me. And she faked it. So what I want to say is to say to you guys, I am sorry if I've touched anyone's nerve. I'm a man of integrity, respect, and love.
It says Dumisani Dlamini, South African actor and dancer, best known for playing Crocodile on Serafina. He's the father of American singer and rapper Doja Cat. He started his career in South Africa as a dancer, which led him to be cast in the musical Serafina, which premiered in South Africa in 1987. His international career started when the musical became a Broadway production, which led him to tour the U.S. from 28 January 1988, July 2nd, 1989. His film career began when the play was adapted into the movie Serafina in 1992, starring Whoopi Goldberg. He lived in the U.S. for a few years after the show ended and returned to South Africa. So if the film Serafina was in 1992, Doja Cat was born in 1995. So she's 30 years old. So right in that time period there, it seems like. He later returned to South Africa, where he continued his work in the television and music industry. He worked on some albums here, career in television, and has been acting for the past 30 years, where he appeared in a popular South African shows. It says he's from Durban, South Africa, and is of Zulu descent. In the 1990s, Dlamini met a painter and clothing designer, Deborah Sawyer, and had a relationship with her before parting ways. Sawyer is the mother of his son, Rahman, and daughter, Amala, better known as the rapper and singer Doja Cat. Wow. So there was a certain time period where he had exposure to the United States, and as any poppin' Broadway / film actor at the time, you're going to attract some, and he had a child out of that. And he said that he brought Doja Cat's mother back to South Africa. So there's a possibility that Doja Cat could have been born in South Africa and raised in South Africa, but her mother chose otherwise. Chose to keep her in the United States. I want people to keep that in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of guys get bad raps for having these children potentially out of wedlock and somehow abandoning them. Well, he was always probably going back to South Africa. In fact, unless he married her, I don't think he could have stayed in the United States. So then there's that hurdle as well. So I know Doja Cat, there's nothing he can probably do to really make up for the lost time. But it sounds like that he really wanted to at least have that moment with her, and for all of it to be wrapped up in such like drama, you know, I think it's sad. It's a shame. So Doja Cat, make sure you reach out to your father. He's already 62. You don't know how long your people are going to be here. You do that so you don't end up like the other young lady, Nardos. Nardos didn't ever have the opportunity to meet her father. It sounds like now that she really regrets not cultivating that relationship because she thought she was abandoned. You know, a lot of hurt little girls out here, man. I see it all the time in adulthood. We see it in the internet. All this stuff we see, all these antics we see, all these man-hating rhetoric, all this man-hating rhetoric, it comes from places like this. It comes from having issues that date back to childhood that probably have something to do with that father. And don't let the father be black. And you don't want anything to do with black men. Yeah, I think some therapy is in order, and obviously some conversations need to be had, because he's obviously hurt too. He was saying she wasn't messaging him enough. So, he kind of, I say that's one mistake he definitely made in that interaction and them trying to meet up. But yeah, life is too short to hold a grudge against the person that brought you into the world. Because there's a bunch of family members out there that probably would love to get to know you and have a relationship with you. but you're at an impasse with that side of the family, and you went to South Africa and felt that ancestral tie to that land. So you know there's something there. And I think that's something you need to take on your path and grow with to become a more full person, you know, to become who you were meant to be. Anyway, let me know what you think about it in the comments if you like this video. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell notification for all uploads. This is Faucette Media.